The trick of doing a really good job editing is to make your edits transparent or seamless, which means the viewer doesn't see that you've created an edit. Now, J-cuts and L-cuts will allow you to make your transitions more seamless. Now, I'm going to play the clip as I cut it, which is I speak, and then I cut, and Vanessa speaks. And you'll see, though the transition is smooth, it's not transparent. And I think because we made that dough made it from scratch.
It really gives it that one.
Now, what you see a lot in television and movies is a situation where you might hear the person speak before you actually cut to them, or you cut to their reaction as they're listening before they start speaking. This is very natural. If somebody speaks in a room, you'll hear them before you see them. So that's why we edit what are called J and L cuts, and they're called that because it kind of makes the shape of a letter J or the letter L. So what I want to do here is I want to actually cut to Vanessa's voice before I cut to her face. What I want to do is hear Vanessa's voice before I see her. So I actually want to move the edit point of the video a little bit to the right. Now to do that, I'll switch over to the rolling edit tool, and I want to just isolate the video track. So I'm going to hold down the Option key, click, and just drag it a little bit to the right. And I don't need it to be that long. Second or so is good. And then look what happens when I play it. No, it wasn't gluten-free, and I think because we made that dough made it from scratch.
It really gives it that wonderful homemade element, and you feel really.
So that's more natural. Maybe I would cut away a little bit before I start smiling. So I can move that back a hair, and I'm good to go. Now, if you looked at the raw footage, it's fairly continuous in that my speaking and Vanessa speaking, nothing is taken out, so I could have actually done a roll edit without switching over to the video and achieved the same effect. But what happens when you remove something? And that's what I did in the next example in the timeline. I removed that phrase from fresh because I didn't like the way it sounded. So we'll just do this one more time, and you'll see how valuable being able to break apart the video and the audio to do a J or L cut would work. I didn't know it wasn't gluten-free, and I think because we made that dough from scratch.
It really.
So we made that dough from scratch. We don't hear from fresh anymore. So I can go ahead, once again, hold down the Option key and move this over a little bit. I'll zoom in with the plus key so I have a little more fine control. And let's go ahead and play that back.
Because we made that dough from scratch.
It really gives it that.
Okay, I have a little bit of lip flap there. And this is what I wanted to point out, is that when you do these J and L cuts, you could actually trick your viewer. My lips are still saying fresh, but because we hear the word scratch, they won't even notice.
That dough from scratch.
It really gives it that wonderful homemade element.
So that's one of the tricks and the art of doing an L cut or a J cut. Now, of course, I led the audio before the video, but I could have just as easily led with a reaction shot of Vanessa hearing my voice and then cut to her. J cuts and L cuts are one of the secrets of making transparent edits.